Hello, friends, and welcome to another lecture on a very interesting topic, boiling. But this is not yet another lecture, this is a very interesting lecture. Now, why an insignificant thing like boiling? Well, in my experience in teaching chemical engineering, I have realized one thing. Boiling is one of the most least understood and at times misunderstood concepts in chemistry and chemical engineering. This is Professor Arvind Prasad, and if you like my lectures, do subscribe it, but I would request you otherwise to subscribe it immediately. You will find many interesting lectures on my playlist, and you will keep getting interesting lectures if you subscribe my channel. Do forward my link to students who are interested in chemical engineering, thermodynamics, and chemistry, and ask them to subscribe it. So let's get back to boiling now. Okay? So, why boiling? Gentlemen, what is boiling? Now let's understand that first. Okay, let's take a vessel. Okay, so let's take some liquid in an open vessel. Now, most of you might not realize that all liquids that are kept open around you vaporize. We don't see vapors and therefore we don't seem to realize them a lot of times, but they are vaporizing. Now, remember one thing, not realizing that has proved fatal at a lot of times, because solvents which are highly flammable are kept open and they vaporize off constantly, and what happens is they vaporize off and they reach the source of fire and there's an explosion. So understanding for chemical engineers that every liquid when kept open vaporizes, or all liquids vaporize at all the times, is a very important fact that you need to realize. A very important fact. There are vapors constantly coming out of a liquid all the time, but we can't see them. That's the whole thing, right? So vaporization requires energy, yes, and the energy is taken from the atmosphere. That's also something we don't realize, but the heat is being taken from the atmosphere and the vaporization occurs. Now, what is exactly boiling? So let's take this example once again and now put a thermometer in this liquid. So there we go. We put a thermometer and we put a heating element below it. So this is my heating element. Now what we do is we take the temperature versus the time. So at time T0, let us say the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. As you keep heating up, the temperature is going to rise. And suddenly there will come a point where the temperature is constant. This is an observation that most of you, I bet, have not made, because what happens is we hardly enter the laboratory to understand boiling. In general English, common terms, teachers, dad, mom, and friends call this entire thing as boiling, which is wrong. When the temperature rises, this part in science is known as heating. And when the liquid heats up to its boiling point, for water it could be 100 degrees Celsius at 1 atmosphere. At that point, what happens is the temperature remains constant. As you provide heat, the temperature remains constant. I repeat, after the boiling point, once it has reached the boiling point, whatever heat you give to the liquid, the temperature remains constant. Boiling is a constant temperature process. Repeat, boiling is a constant temperature process. So what happens is, whenever you take a pure fluid and you boil it, during boiling the temperature remains constant. If it is a mixture of 2 or 3 liquids, or it's a mixture of solid and liquids, it will not boil at constant temperatures. But a pure fluid, water, alcohol, methanol, ethanol, benzene, toluene, you name it, they will boil at constant temperatures. Okay, during boiling the temperature is going to remain constant. Now, why is that? The reason is that below the boiling point, whatever energy you give to the liquid is used up in raising the temperature of the liquid. But at boiling point, whatever energy you give to the liquid is used in vaporizing the liquid off. Whatever energy you give at boiling point is used up only in vaporizing the liquid off. Am I trying to imply that there is no vaporization occurring below the boiling point? The answer is yes, it does occur. But the vaporization rate is very low. Therefore, what happens is, all and every energy that you give as heat, which is very fast and very high, is going to be used up in raising the temperature of the liquid. And a very small part is going to be used in vaporization. But as it reaches the boiling point, all the energy that you provide as heat is going to be used up only in vaporizing the liquid off. That is why whatever energy is given is used in vaporization, the temperature does not increase. Because there's no energy used to increase the temperature. That's the meaning of it. So all liquids have their boiling points, and which is a characteristic of the compound which you're taking. And the second part before I go further is heating and boiling are not the same. Heating and boiling are not the same. They are two different things. You can heat and you can cool. You can boil and you can stop boiling. If you stop boiling, ultimately the temperature will come to the boiling. From the boiling point, the temperature will drop. Okay. So if you stop giving heat at boiling, the temperature will immediately start dropping off and the boiling phenomenon will stop. Now, how do we observe that? Yes. What's the visual observation, or what's the visual mark of boiling? If you take a large mass of liquid and when the boiling starts, what happens is big bubbles are formed on the surface on which the heat is provided, and they vigorously rise up in the liquid mass. This is boiling. Visually, this is boiling. But the confirmation of boiling only is that if you put a thermometer and the temperature is constant, you can be scientifically, with confidence, thump your fist and say, yes, this is boiling. Because the temperature is constant. Right? What happens is this bubbling phenomena just starts just before the boiling point. But it's not all that vigorous. At boiling, it is pretty vigorous. So the temperature is a very good indication of the boiling. At boiling, you have a unique temperature for every compound, which is known as the boiling point. So once it has reached the boiling point, you can say, yes, it is boiling. And you can say with confidence. Now there's vaporization going off here. Right? So during boiling, whatever vaporization is going off, okay, before boiling, let me correct myself, before boiling, whatever vaporization goes off in the liquid, you in science call it evaporation. Before boiling, whatever vaporization is going on in the fluid, it is known as evaporation. And during boiling, whatever vaporization is going off, you call it boiling vaporization. That way, you have lesser chances of creating a confusion while writing and while communicating to each other. Vaporization is a very general term. Vaporization occurs during boiling also, and vaporization occurs during evaporation also. But evaporation is a term specifically used for vaporization which occurs below the boiling point. And above the boiling point, you call it boiling or boiling vaporization. This is very important, and believe me, all the confusion about boiling has only come because of the English used for it in a fashion mixed up. We use mixed up languages, and therefore we don't understand what is boiling exactly. Okay. So normally what's our idea? The moment we keep the vessel, we say it's boiling. No, it's not. It's heating up. It is only when it comes to the boiling temperature does it really start boiling. Okay, now boiling point, that is TB, it's a function of pressure. Now again you would ask a question, what pressure? The pressure on the liquid. Please try and understand, in 90% of the times when we are talking about pressure, we are talking the pressure acting on the surface of the compound. So is pressure acting on the liquid surface here? The answer is yes. Even if it is open, the pressure is acting, and that pressure is 1 atmosphere. So now the boiling point of all the liquids that you would measure in your lab would be boiling points at 1 atmosphere. Now, does boiling point change with pressure? The answer is yes. As the pressure reduces, the boiling point reduces. And as the pressure rises, the boiling point rises. And it looks something like this. So this is your saturated vapor pressure. And this is your boiling temperature. And the curve looks like this. Now I use the term PSAT. Well, you have a famous equation, ln PSAT, that is the saturated vapor pressure of any liquid, is equal to A minus B upon T plus C, where T is the temperature, T is the temperature, and A, B, C are constant. On the LHS, you have ln PSAT, where PSAT represents the saturation vapor pressure. Okay. Now at boiling, the vapor pressure of the liquid is equal to the pressure that is being applied on the liquid. Now, when you are boiling at atmosphere, the boiling will only start when the vapor pressure of the liquid being boiled is equal to 1 atmosphere. When the vapor pressure of the liquid is equal to 1 atmosphere. It's very clear from what I have shown here. The vapor pressure of any liquid is a function of temperature. So as we heat up, the temperature goes up. But as the pressure comes to the pressure being applied on the liquid, that is 1 atmosphere, which is in the case of open vessels, we get the boiling point. And these boiling points are usually known as normal boiling points. Now it should be amply clear to you that a boiling point is function of pressure. So if you go higher up on the hills, the boiling point is going to reduce. If you come to the atmosphere, sea level, the boiling point is going to be what you would get usually as the normal boiling point. Now, can the boiling temperature or the boiling point be reduced further than what we look as normal boiling point? The answer is a plain simple yes. If we take a vessel, cover it up and put liquid in this and just create vacuum in the vessel, a pressure less than atmosphere, and then measure the boiling point, the boiling point is going to be lesser than the normal boiling point. And this is true for all liquids. It's not partial to any liquid and more partial to some liquids and less partial. It's equal. This phenomenon is for all liquids. right? So boiling point of a liquid can be reduced if it is kept under vacuum. If you want to reduce the boiling point of a liquid lower than the normal boiling point, heat it under vacuum. If you want to raise the boiling point greater than the normal boiling point, boil it under pressure. That's all. That is what scientists, engineers, chemical engineers should understand. These are simple things that we need to do. Okay. So that was all about boiling. And I hope that you understood boiling in the correct way today. If you have any questions, do put it in the comments. I would be only too happy to answer them. And do put in requests on the kind of lectures you want, the topics on which you want lectures. By the way, I was in Bhabha Atomic Research Center prior to becoming a professor. So I have a lot of interesting things to share with you. And of course, all of that would only come up if you put a request. So remember one thing, subscribe my channel, send it to students who would be interested and ask them to subscribe it. Send it to all your friends and ask them to subscribe it. More interesting lectures will keep coming. My subscriber base today is 661. I would like to touch 1000 subscribers as quickly as possible. Only then this entire attempt of educating everybody and the interested becomes a worthwhile exercise. Goodbye, friends. Have a great day.